Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. So, the first several of my chats, I chose to use words and stories from Max Lucado. And I've chosen to do one more this week from him. And it's from a book called Shaped by God by Max Lucado. Because a few of you had asked our church administrator what book that was. So now you'll know. And the name of this story is called The Value of a Relationship. So I'm just going to begin right in with the story. I used to visit George every Thursday when I lived in Miami. At the time, I wasn't sure what kept drawing me to his musty little trailer. But looking back on it now, I think I know. George had an unusual appearance, a patch over one eye. I lost it in the war, he said, and not a hair on his head. He was Canadian to the core and always kept the maple leaf draped in front of his trailer. Though over 60, he swam and golfed daily and danced nightly. His voice boomed like a cannon when he talked, and he walked with such a pendulum swagger that he could have cleared a path for a bull. But there was something much more profound about George that made me want to visit him. One summer day, I realized what it was. It was a hot Miami afternoon when I knocked on his door. He invited me in with his customary, "Well, hello, Max. Come on in here." He gave every visitor a glass of lemonade and some secret recipe popcorn. I stepped into the trailer. "I've got someone I want you to meet," continued George with his Canadian twang. "My friend Ralph." I looked toward the corner. My eyes were still adjusting from the outside sun to the dimly lit trailer. As my vision cleared, I could see Ralph, and I wasn't sure what to think. There was a certain wildness about him, shoulder-length unkempt hair, a chest-length untamed beard. He was at least George's age, probably older. Apparently he didn't know what to think of me either. His darting eyes sized me up from beneath his salt and pepper hair. My palms began to sweat. George interrupted the silence. "Sit down, Max. I've got something to show you." I sat on one side of the table while George scooted in next to Ralph across from me. "My most valued possession is right here." I looked at his hands and then around the trailer. "Where, George?" "Right here." George put his big arm around Ralph's bony shoulders. "My most valued possession is my buddy Ralph." A new set of wrinkles appeared on Ralph's face as he broke into a toothless grin. "Old friends, George and Ralph. Two crusty old travelers on the back curve of life's circle. They had found life's most precious element, a relationship. Relationships. America's most precious resource. Take our oil, take our weapons, but don't take what holds us together. Relationships. A nation's strength is measured by the premium it puts on its own people. When people value people, an impenetrable web is drawn, a web of vitality and security. A relationship. The delicate fusion of two human beings, the intricate weaving of two lives, two sets of moods, mentalities, and temperaments, two intermingling hearts, both seeking solace and security. A relationship. It has more power than any nuclear bomb and more potential than any promising seed. Nothing will drive a man to greater courage than a relationship. Nothing will spawn greater devotion than a relationship. Nothing will fire the heart of a patriot or purge the cynicism of a rebel like a relationship. Ah, but George said it best. My most valued possession is my buddy. What matters most in life is not what ladders we climb or what ownings we accumulate. What matters most is a relationship. What steps are you taking to protect your possessions? What measures are you using to ensure that your relationships are strong and healthy? What are you doing to solidify the bridges between you and those in your world? Do you resolve conflict as soon as possible? Or do you let the sun go down when you are still angry? Do you verbalize your love every day to your mate and children? Do you look for chances to forgive? Do you pray daily for those in your life? Do you count the lives of your family members and friends more important than your own? Our Master knew the value of a relationship. It was through relationships that he changed the world. His movement thrived not on personality or power, but on championing the value of a person. He built bridges and crossed them, touching the leper, uniting the estranged, exalting the prostitute. And what was that he said about loving your neighbor as yourself? It's a wise man who values people above possessions. Many wealthy men have died paupers because they gave their lives to things and not to people. And many paupers have left this earth in contentment because they loved their neighbors. My most valued possession is my buddy. You know, I think we all have special people in our lives, and those relationships can all be different, but each one is important to who we are, and they are all treasured possessions, much more treasured than any things that money can buy. Treasure your relationships, especially the relationship that you have with God. Have an amazing day. God bless you all.